I grew up in a family where violence was glorified, so at a very young age I was, things were resolved through violence, any kind of issues. When I was roughly 8 or 9, my mother was sent to prison for just a few years. A few years later my father was. He left when I was 2. I didn't really see him that much, but in brief periods. So I had a kind of an extended family where I had a great aunt who took care of us. But yeah, apart from her, the family was very disjointed. There was alcohol, violence, drugs, things like that. I mean, I'm kind of painting a bad picture of my mum, but she, in hindsight now, it's taken many years for me to understand and forgive her, that it wasn't her fault, and she did try really hard. She was working 3 jobs and things like that, and she moved area to a nice area when I was 16, when I left. It wasn't until I can sit here now at this age and look back and be really understanding and forgiveful, and yeah, to appreciate that she did try her best to what she understood. I've definitely had a ball from like as far back as I can remember. It was always probably my, I didn't realise at the time actually, but it would have been my outlet from the environment that I was in. So I went from having spent 3 months bricklayers labouring, to full-time professional football, and it was a big shock. A lot of the young guys, the young lads at the time, they had all been there since they were 12, 13. So to get thrown into that environment, I couldn't deal with the pressure of having to give 110% every single day, no social life, 6 days a week. And I kind of cracked after about 18 months and left and quit. It wasn't until I came back here to Tasmania that I picked it back up again, and now playing with all the guys, just even the community aspect of it. I really appreciate it now, and I really appreciate being able to play still. Looking back now, the amount of emotional anger that I had, and I was, through training, through strength training, that's how I was releasing it. Because it's so powerful. Emotional energy is unbelievably powerful, and that's how I was using it. I've realised now, because I went through a period of stage where I denied that part of myself. It's literally only in this year that I've come to terms with that part of myself, and realising that I need to bring that darkness to light. And although I'm just talking about training, I've brought that back into my training. I've brought that emotional anger that is there, that was always there, is a part of me. But now I'm realising that, shall I use the word, the devil isn't there, the devil's within me. I just need to bring that to light and realise that there's no devil at all. Looking back, always in hindsight, as it is, looking back now, there was definitely a lot of built-up anger that surfaced through violence. There was a time when I was 20, roughly 21, 22, when I was arrested many times, and it would have been around that age that I went to court, and through a lot of good luck on that day, fortunately didn't get sent to jail, sent to prison. That was definitely a defining moment. I recall when the judge, my solicitor, told me in the room just before I was about to go into court that, "How do you feel about going to prison today?" And I think I cried. I started to cry. All of the traumatic things that had taken place, they definitely were stored and were just bubbling under the surface for many years. It wasn't until I was kind of 24 that I started to take a real look at what I was doing with my life, and start to try and understand things and really wake up. It was definitely that moment, and being accepted to a university changed everything. Just being at university and staying at the accommodation there, yeah, it just allowed me to. I started to educate myself, and only in small ways. Actually, the first time I read a book, and that changed a lot. Only in looking back now, I'm able to realise that through every traumatic experience I grew. And like I say, it's only been the past kind of 5-6 years that I've probably been able to transcend all of the past trauma more freely, more openly. Up until then, I was definitely unaware as to what was taking place, and I was just stumbling into each next life experience. There's nothing that I wouldn't change. There's definitely nothing that I wouldn't change. I feel that obviously naturally to be who I am and where I am today, and where I'm continuing to go. All of the pain and all of the suffering have just taught me. They've definitely added new lenses to my scope every single time.